Before we get started, I'd like to say a few words about our presenter today, Greg C. Vanderheiden, Ph.D., Professor and Director of the Trace R&D Center, University of Maryland, has worked in technology and disability for 50 years. A pioneer in augmentative communication, a term taken from his writings in 1979, and computer access, his access features can be found in Windows, Mac OS, iOS, and Linux. His work is also found in phones, postal stations, Amtrak ticket machines, and airport terminals across the country. He co-chaired the WCAG 1.0 and 2.0 and has worked with over 50 companies. With that, I just want to thank Greg for your body of work and mention that this project was funded by the Rehabilitation Services Administration. Thank you.
Hi, this is Greg. Welcome, everybody. This is an opportunity for anybody to ask anything, so please feel free to ask questions. I do want to do a shout-out first for Douglas Zhu, who is on the call with us and who is the project officer for this Project Morphic that brought you what you saw today, and also to Stephen Bauer, who is with the National Institute on Disability, Independent Living and Rehabilitation Research at the Administration for Community Living, who has funded the background work that led up to this work and some of the other aspects that you saw reported when we're looking at digital literacy and these new problems that we're identifying in accessibility. So you can thank both of them for their roles in helping to support this work as well. So on to questions. I noticed there were two of them that were raised up early on. One of them was wondering about firewalls. And we have been deploying this in libraries, schools, and other places that have firewalls. And as long as you can browse the internet and things like this, that's generally allowed. We don't use any special ports. The Morphic basic capabilities actually don't use the internet at all. You can just operate that entirely on your local computer. And the other parts where it's bringing your settings down and your assistive technologies and stuff, that's all done using standard ports, etc. If there is a problem, we work with the particular place, like library or school, to make sure that it's accessible and open and would be able to operate. I think that's mostly the question that you had. It also operates on computers that are locked down. It is possible to lock down a computer so far that I think that it might not operate, but we've never found one that was locked down to the point where it wouldn't operate yet. The other question had to do with Zoom links and can they change? And the answer is, if you created this for your grandmother or for your grandfather or for somebody else of any age, and you set up a link, say, to a church broadcast, and it changed. No, they don't have to change anything. The person who is doing it would make the change. It just takes a couple seconds. You just log into the site, change the link, push the button, and it would automatically change the link on their computer. So they wouldn't even notice the difference. It's just when they clicked on it, it would go to the new site. Same thing if you had a family meeting and then at some point along the line, you change the link for the family meeting. You just log into a web page, click on the button, change what that button does, change the link it goes to, click, push this to the user, and done. If you have questions or I don't fully answer, be sure to use the chat to ask a follow-up question. Do others have questions? How to move from one computer to another. I'm actually going to share my screen here, and then I can show you some of these things that we were talking about. When I share my screen, I can't see the chat, so I am now going to just speak, and then you'll have to just follow from there. Let me bring this down here. Example shows the screen as it would be on the computer, and that you log into. So you just sign in, and this is the bar for this. I'll just show up a bar right here, and I'll change the bar to be the one that we see here. Okay, so you see the bar, and here's the worship service. So this is the one where you would see the worship service here. So the way you change that is you just come to the worship service, you click, you just change the link here, you click save, and you save to the members Morphic bar, and you're done. All of a sudden, this Morphic bar now would change where it went to, and you could do that for any of the bars. The next question was, how do you change? So I'm going to go, this is the Morphic Plus bar, and I'm going to go back to the Morphic Basic bar, which is what you would probably find if you went to a library or something like this. And so you just click on Morphy. You'd come up to where it says apply a change or change setup. You'd click on this, and then it would just ask you to sign in so it knows who you are, so what one you want to apply. So you just enter it in. You just click sign in, and it would automatically bring your settings down and put them on that computer. And then when you're done, you can either sign out, or you can just, shut the computer down or whatever you do when you're done using the computer, and it would automatically change.
Greg, this is Sherry, and if I wanted to get my granny on for her Zoom service, I can do this using the internet on my computer, but next time Granny got on hers, it would show up?
Yes, Granny or you, because you can set up one of these Morphic bars for yourself. As you can see here, I can set it up so that I have different bars. So I could have one that I use when I'm at work. I could have one that I'm using at home, etc. This is one, for example, that was set up for a student who might have trouble at school and has trouble navigating. And so it's got, email, their calendar, G Drive. Canvas would be their educational system. And then in Canvas, they have trouble finding their classes. Sometimes people are new to this. They've never seen Canvas before. So you could actually make buttons that would drop them not only into Canvas, but right into the course that they needed to. And then you can have something like this, which has the focus or read selected or color vision if there's somebody who has a color blindness and would find that useful. This is a different one. So you can make up different ones for different people, or you could even have multiple bars if you wanted to. Could you repeat that question? I'm not sure I fully answered it.
This is Sherry, and if I wanted to update in this case, you're doing it for a student. So you're tailoring this for a student using your Morphic Basic, or do I have to have Morphic Plus to set up individual screens for students?
Yeah, so Morphic Basic is this one here, and Morphic Basic is free, and this is what you typically find in a location, although you might find one that was more like, let me just change this to Basic for a second here. At our university, we use one that looks a little different, and it looks like this. So you see Morphic Basic, and then they added 3 additional buttons. So this one is the ELMS that's our Canvas system for all the educational classes and stuff. Google Drive, and then they wanted to have one for sign out. The one for students has a Gmail there instead. So if I sat down at the library and I wanted to do this, I don't have to have a Plus account to transfer my settings. So if I wanted to copy settings between computers, so I wanted to take my settings from home and apply them here, that is part of the free. Okay, so moving your assistive technologies, moving your assistive technology settings, that's all part of Morphic Basic, and that's free. Morphic Plus is only needed if you wanted to create one of these custom bars like we were showing on this other page, like these. If you want to create a custom bar, then you need Morphic Plus. But right now, if we go to Morphic and you just go to click on the Get Morphic button, you'll see that you can get Morphic free for Windows or the Mac. But down here, if you sign up to be part of our early release and feedback program, which just means that you agree that you'll tell us it's working out well, or if you'd like it to be different, or you'd like to have new features, that's all. And then you can get it free for a year. So you'll be able to get even Morphic Plus. And this will be releasing Morphic Plus within the next 3 weeks, I believe. So if you just want to have Morphic Plus, you can get free. And once you have it set up, you can make up a bar for yourself. You can make up a bar for other people as well as part of your free Morphic subscription. Morphic Basic will always be free. Morphic Plus will be as free as we can make it.
Greg, this is Sherry. Sherry said that she was unable to download it to her work computer because of a firewall.
At your work, you have to have your IT department install things on your computers. It's not just your firewall, it's the securing settings on your computers. You don't have permission to install things on your own computers at the office. So you would work through your IT department if you wanted to install it on a work computer. But as an individual, no, you can't install it on a work computer or a library computer or any other computer that you don't have administrative rights to.
That's helpful. And Lisa Marie wants to know if this is appropriate for speech users. In other words, can it be used with JAWS?
Oh, yes. Yes. As a matter of fact, this individual right here uses JAWS. So this is one of our students, and he uses JAWS himself. And we also test it with the National Federation of the Blind. We have several blind people actually involved in our testing before we release anything. And it will capture and restore JAWS settings, and it would download and install JAWS. Right now, Morphic Plus will change and move your settings to each computer. We're working towards something we call installation on demand, so that when you sit down to a computer, if the AT that you need isn't on the computer, that we would download and install your AT and then configure it for you. And then when you get up and leave, get rid of it. So that you could, for example, go to a library if they had installed Morphic at the library and use any computer and sit down at it. And if you were using JAWS, JAWS would show up on that computer when you sat down and then disappear when you left.
Greg, this is all very exciting, and I'm wondering if you can go back to the original screen so that we can put up information if folks want to send you questions. So as Greg said, you can download the free Morphic Basic now. Those of you who are on this, I assume that you're early adopters, so you can go ahead and sign up and get ready for the Morphic Plus. And if you have questions, go to morphic.org.
Thank you. We really are looking for input. If you find any problems at all, be sure to tell us. And also different uses. If you look at it and say, well, this is nice, but for me it really should do X. And this is one I love. They say, I'm sure it can't do this, but could you make it do X? Those are the perfect ones, because a lot of times we can. We just haven't thought of it. And in some cases, we just, it's one of those where you almost want to smack yourself in the head and go, oh, of course, that's so obvious. We should have had it do that. And then we can add those capabilities.
Evan Epsey from Empower Tennessee said, you may have answered this, but do the AT software such as JAWS have to be on the computer you are using Morphic on?
With IOD, they don't have to be on it when you sit down. The installation on demand would bring it down and install it on the machine for you so you could use it.
If you have JAWS itself?
No, if we have JAWS. So if you have a license or the library has a license, or if we have a license, then it could be on that machine, okay? We won't install JAWS if somebody doesn't have a license. If for all the AT, we don't install anybody's AT where there isn't a valid license for you to be using it. But if a lot of these places, they say, oh, sure, if this is a valid license owner, and you can tell they're not giving it to their friends. I mean, this is literally them sitting in different computers. Sure, you can install it, and so they can use it on the computer.
It's wonderful to hear how you've already thought through many of the accessibility issues. So at that, we will end this webinar.
Thank you.